Hey everybody, welcome back. Today we're going to be using our Nuwave Mosaic Induction Wok to make spicy beef broccoli. Once you see how easy this is to make at home, you'll likely never go out for it again. So you ready? Let's get into this. For this recipe, we're going to need some broccoli florets, low sodium soy sauce, some garlic cloves, some sesame seeds, a little bit of olive oil, cornstarch, monk fruit sweetener, a little bit of black pepper, some ginger, some sesame oil infused with a little bit of chili oil, a little bit of hot water, and some flank steak. If you'd like to make this recipe, all the ingredients and measurements are down in the description of the video, along with the calorie count, the protein, the fat, and the carbs. The first thing we want to do is get our garlic minced and our ginger shaved. You can see I've already removed the skins for the garlic. We'll set those right there, but I left one with the skin on just so you can see how easy it is to get this off. All you need to do is set your garlic down on your cutting board, set your knife sideways on the garlic, and just give it a quick tap. Then when you pick this up, that whole skin just sort of peels right off of it. Just like that. For the ginger, a lot of people will try to take a knife trying to flake that skin off, and then you end up doing that all the way around this piece of ginger. A better way to do it is just take a scrub sponge, and you can just use the rough part right over it, and you can just rub that skin right off of there. Just make sure this isn't one that you've just been washing dishes with, because that would be kind of gross. And really, this whole process only takes a couple of minutes. Much faster than trying to get a knife dug in there, and then you also don't run the risk of cutting yourself somehow either. Looks pretty good, huh? Next, we can mince this garlic, and that just means cutting it really small. Once you got your garlic minced, we'll just set that into a small mixing bowl, and then we can grab a grater and move on to our ginger. Be careful with your grater, you got a really good chance of cutting yourself on this stuff if you let this come off your hand. And once you get that grated, we can sort of gather that up, throw that in the bowl too. Next we can add in the soy sauce, the monk fruit sweetener, the pepper, the sesame oil, and then we'll use a whisk to get that mixed up really good. Then we'll set this aside just for a second. And we're going to be combining our hot water and our cornstarch. Make sure this water is pretty hot. You want to put it in the microwave for a little bit until you start to see it steam. The reason for that is the cornstarch isn't going to mix into it properly unless it's hot. If you throw this into cold water, it's going to end up clumping. And if you throw this cornstarch into our sauce, it's going to end up clumping there too, most likely. So what we're doing is we're taking that water, heating it up, and then we're going to slowly add the cornstarch into this. And we're going to mix it up in the hot water. In fact, we're going to use this whisk to do that. So we'll add a little bit at a time. Get that mixed in really good and broken up until we've added in all of our cornstarch. And when you've mixed it all in there, you'll see that this has become sort of a slurry. That's good. Now we're going to take this and mix that into our sauce here. And you're going to want to mix this, make sure it's all nice and combined and you don't have any granule bits of the sweetener in there either. Once you've got that mixed, we can set this aside. Next, we're going to prep our meat. We're going to cut this into thin slivers. We don't want any piece being too big, but we want them to be kind of long too. So we'll slice all these up very quickly. By the way, if this is your first time here and you want to learn some cool new recipes, get some great cooking tips and tricks and all sorts of other kitchen related things, then start now by subscribing to the channel and clicking the notification bell so you never miss a thing. And you want these pieces of meat to be pretty thin like this. Once you got that meat prepped, we can stick it on a plate and set it aside again. Next, we'll be ready to use our wok. So we'll just turn this on. We're going to set this to about 300 degrees and we will start it up. Next, we're going to take half of our olive oil and we're going to put that in here. And we can give this just a moment to heat up, which is already starting to happen. I would take that oil and sort of slosh it around here a little bit in your pan, just to try to get it distributed a little bit wider. Just make sure you do that pretty quick, otherwise your induction burner is going to turn off. Once you start to see a tiny bit of smoke forming, throw in the broccoli. We'll stir this around just to make sure we get A little bit of that oil on all of our vegetables. Then we're going to add just a little bit of water and cover this up. You're going to want to pop this open once in a while just to stir your vegetables, just maybe once or twice. And this part should probably take up to maybe 5 minutes at the most. It sort of depends on how you like broccoli cooked. You don't want to overcook it and make it mushy, but you don't want it to be rock hard either. You'll be able to tell when it's just about right when it starts turning like a brighter shade of green like this. Once you get it to that point, we can take these out of the wok and set them aside for now. Now we're going to bring this temperature up closer to 450, put in the rest of our oil, and now we will throw in our meat. At first it's going to stick to the pan a little bit. Go ahead and let it stick. Don't try to scrape it off. When that bottom side is seared, the meat is going to release. So just trust in the process. You just want to try to get these laid out in as much of a sort of a flat line as you can here, just so they're all evenly cooking. And once that bottom side looks cooked, you'll be able to tell, you can see that color running up to the top here. Then we can just scrape it and flip it over. As you can see, there's nothing sticking to the bottom of this pan because we gave it enough time for it to release on its own. You can do this at higher temperature if you like to. I don't like to do that because this is still going to cook it really fast, and I don't want to risk searing the outside too much before the inside cooks. You know what I mean? As we get closer to the end, and I'm satisfied that this is cooking all the way through, then I'll increase the temperature up to about 500. Because now we're sort of in the finishing stages of this. Once you've got your temperature up like this, probably it's a good idea to keep stirring this. It's not called a stir fry for no reason. Also, you have to remember that as far as a wok, even with this induction wok, the bottom down here is a lot hotter than the top up here. So we do want to keep rotating this meat around just to make sure that everything cooks evenly and that we get a even sear on stuff as well. You can see that I've been adjusting my temperature up and down a little bit too. Really, you want to play it by ear. It all depends on how thin you got your meat cut and your altitude and all kinds of other stuff get played into it as well.
75 years later.
Okay, and it looks like our meat is just about ready now. So we're going to add back in our broccoli. That's stirred in really well. And now we can add in that sauce that we made earlier. The cornstarch in that is heat activated. So you can see that down at the bottom of the steak, it was pretty watery down there. That's fine because this sauce is going to soak all that up and it's going to thicken anyway. So we just want to give this a few minutes for science to happen. You can see that I didn't add in the sesame seed. That's still right here because that's a garnish. We don't put that in until the end. See, now if you're looking down here, you can see how thick that sauce is getting. A lot of people freak out a little bit and they start trying to fix the sauce before you've let it thicken on its own, and then you end up with kind of a brick there at the bottom of your pan. Just gotta have a little bit of patience and everything will work out. I like to set this thing to sear for the last minute or so, just getting a nice little finishing touch on it. And once that's been about a minute or so, and you're happy with the thickness of your sauce, just by checking that out, then we're ready to serve. If you'd like to learn some more about Joe's Phenomenal, you can either watch a couple more videos or you can check us out online at joesphenomenal.com. That came out absolutely fantastic, and the whole thing only took about 15 minutes or so to make. The best part is you're going to get much better quality meat this way than you would if you went out to your local Chinese takeout. If you'd like a little bit more information about the Nuwave Induction Wok that we use for this video, we do have an Amazon affiliate link for it down in the description of the video. If you buy anything through those links, we do make a small commission, but it doesn't change the price that you pay 1 cent. If you like this video, you might like this video right here where I show you how to make some really great fried rice. Like most things, the secret to that is in the preparation. Well, that's it for now. I hope to see you back again here really soon, and until that time, I'm Joe, and I hope you have a phenomenal day. Take it easy.